Today, we are going to talk about affordability in 2024. Welcome back, everyone, to my channel. Today, we are going to look at another prediction, real estate market predictions. This one is specifically from Bigger Pocket, one of the biggest investor network in the entire globe. Right? It's global. So there's a lot of good information here, specifically though, because we are going to look at only for the US market today. Okay. And in this forecast document, they talk a lot about affordability. So I want to bring it to you as a topic for today. The full report can be retrieved from Bigger Pocket. So if you need additional information about that, let me know. I will be more than happy to send you more information on that. With that, let's dive right into our topic today. Number one, why home price? Now, this is the question that a lot of people are asking me for the last year, is that why home price remained unchanged in 2023, even though the demand drop, the home demand drop. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with the situation, this is also one of the charts in Bigger Pocket as well. Okay, and obviously you see, according to this right here, we have a situation in which the sale number of houses on the market drop from the middle of 2023. So there's not a lot of houses get sold from middle of 2022. However, though, when we look at the home price across the US states, we see the situation that the home price is actually on the upward trend, even though on average, I agree that it's going to be remaining unchanged compared to 2022. But on the long-term scale, we see that the trending is upward. So the question is, why? Why is that happening? Why is that the case, right? Normally, people would expect that as the home sells, then the number of homes sold drop like this, the sale price should drop as well, because there's not a lot of demand on the market. So why is that in this situation? Even though the home sold drop, the price keep remaining the same. So to answer that question, I have to bring it up. This is also from Bigger Pocket as well. The basic of supply versus demand on the market right now. Okay, so if we're looking at the supply and the demand curve, there is actually first the vertical is going to be the price, okay, and then the horizontal is the number of homes sold on the market. There's going to be a demand curve like this, and there's also going to be a supply curve like this. So this one showing how what the demand looks like in the current market, and this one, the blue line, showing what is the available homes for sale on the market. Okay, the intersection between the two curves indicates the price and the number of homes sold at the moment in time. Okay, so that is the general idea of the demand and the supply curve in economy, right? What happening in the housing market. So this is what people expecting, okay, as the demand curve drop. Okay, this is what people expecting. So there's a drop in the demand, and then therefore it brings the intersection point a little bit lower. And obviously, as you see here, you're gonna see that there's a drop in price. The drop in not just price, but also there's less number of homes sold on the market. So this is what a lot of people expecting. Okay, now the reason why this is not happening following this is because we not only see the demand curve drop in 2023, right? And as you already know, the demand drop is because interest rate goes higher, right? From middle of 2020 to middle of 2022, the demand going crazily because there's a lot of situation. there's a lot, the interest rate is low. And there's a lot of stimulus check going on to the family, which increase the ability for the consumer to have a good amount of down payment, and therefore they thinking about buying a house and take advantage of the low interest rate at that time. The demand goes crazily high during those periods. However, because the interest rate goes crazily high, around middle of 2022, the demand dropped in 2023 for that reason. The price become more expensive to buy. For example, the home that is sold on the market for 350 at 2.5%, for example, and then for 2022, the same home already have the price of 400, but they have to pay 7% interest rate, and therefore that make a lot of people don't want to buy. Okay? That's the reason why the demand drop. Okay, so as the demand drop like this, okay, a lot of people expecting this similar situation. The home price has to drop, but obviously you already see the home price keep going up, and it's actually it's keep going up. So what happened? The reason it's happened is that there's also actually a drop in supply in that market. Okay, so when there's a drop in the supply curve also move to the left. Okay, which make the intersection point no longer this point, but rather the intersection point move over here. And therefore, as you see, the price is pretty much the same in two situations. And that's exactly the reason why the price remaining the same, almost the same, even though it's go up and go down, go up and go down, right? But on average, it doesn't change that much compared to 2022. So home price doesn't change that much because of that reason, this reason, right? Interest rate has one effect to the demand, which reduce the demand on the market. However, it also reduce the supply on the market as well. Some of you may ask, why is that reducing supply? What does that matter? Okay, think about it, because most of the supply is coming from a resale market. Someone already bought a house, own a house, and they want to sell back to the market. That's called a resale homes, right? So if those people, they want to sell the house, they have to go find another house. So when they try to go find another house, like the example that I give you, right? The price point is going to be higher, okay, and they have to pay for a higher interest rate as well. So it's really difficult for them to justify get rid of the current house and buy another house, more expensive, and the monthly payment is even higher, and get the exact same house. Okay, so why do they have to do that? That's called a locked-in effect. Okay, in fact, in one of the research nowadays, one of the research of Realtor.com, if you follow my video last week, right, 85% of the current homeowners has the interest rate less than 6%. Less than 6%, and right now the interest rate is about 7%. So why do they have to do that for 85% of those people? Okay, so that doesn't make sense to them, and therefore they're not going to sell their house, and therefore the number of supply going to keep remaining even less than 2022 and 2021. Okay, for that reason, that helps. Okay, even though the demand drop, the supply also drop, and therefore the price remaining the same. That's exact. That's the answer to the first question I have in this video. So the next question is what to watch for in 2024, and that the answer is affordability. For those of you who are not familiar with that, what it is, affordability is to measure how easy it is to buy a house. Sorry, there's a typo here. How easy it is to buy a house for one consumer. Okay, so affordability. Why do we have to worry about affordability? Okay, so since now we already know about the definition, let's look at what the situation is, right? This is the affordability index from Bigger Pocket as well. As you see, the same situation. Is that during 2021, 2020, the affordability keep increasing until middle of 2022, and since then, it's already dropped to the very low level since 2005. Okay, that is actually the level before the crisis crash in 2009, right? So on average, the affordability is 128. Now it's only 91. That means the lower the number of affordability is, the less chance the less chance that a consumer can buy a house. The more difficult a consumer can buy a house. Okay, so it's very low at this time. That is the situation that we are facing right now. The report talked about the affordability, actually a combination of three factors: housing prices, mortgage rates, and income. Those are the very three important that for a change affordability. If you want to increase affordability, there's a couple ways to do. Number one, the house prices has to drop, or the income has to increase, or the mortgage rate has to drop. The mortgage rate impacts the monthly payment. The lower the monthly payment is, the easier for them to pay the monthly payment, and therefore it's easier for them to qualify and buy the house. Okay, house prices act as a same, right? The lower the house price, the less they have to pay, and therefore it's more affordable to them. The higher the income, right? In the other hand, they give them more money to pay for the house, and therefore it's more affordable to them. Okay. Now, those are the three factors that impacting, changing, shaping the affordability. But what happened in 2024, right? In 2024, we're expecting that, as you see in the supply and the demand curve, the only way that the house prices decrease right now is the supply has to go up, right? Remaining the same, every other factor the same. The way that house prices decrease is the supply has to go up. For the current situation, there's very less likely that's going to be the case, okay? Because we are talking, a lot of people, like the reason, the number one reason supply is low right now is because they cannot buy the next house. The homeowners cannot buy the next house. So the only chance that they can buy is the interest rate has to go lower, right? But it's not going to be lower than what they have right now already. 90%, according to Zillow report, 90% of the current home buyers has actually low interest rate than current market rate. So why do they have to do that? So therefore, I don't expect house prices I don't expect supply gonna increase in 2024. Oh, actually, the report doesn't expect the housing supplies is actually goes up in 2024, and therefore the house prices will not gonna drop significant. Okay, it's gonna reduce, it's gonna drop, it's gonna reduce, but it's not significant enough to change the affordability. The number two factors that we are going to look at is income. Okay, with the current economic right now, and I know that a lot of people hoping that the economy is going to be better after the election, but will that significant enough to change in 2024? Is less likely. Hopefully in the next after year like 2025, 2026, etc. Right? But I don't foresee, the report doesn't expect that the income going to change significantly. That improve the income amount bringing to the consumer every month. Therefore, it will not be the case. The last is mortgage rate. Okay, and in fact, this is the very important and critical factors that an investor, a real estate investor, has to follow. Because here's the situation: if the interest rate goes decline, right? If it decline, sorry, let me double check real quick on this one. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, the reason why we have to focus on the interest rate is that that is the only factor that could change affordability. okay, in 2024, according to the report, if the interest rate decline, okay. Now, that's a good thing, right? It's increased the affordability for the consumer. However, be careful because when the interest rate decline, it's most likely happening during a slowdown in economy. For example, you already see in 2009, 2020, when COVID happened, when the economy has nothing, that is the number, like the mortgage rates to go to the bottom, right? So even though it has a good chance of increase affordability for the consumer to buy a house, normally that could happen during the slow economy. Okay, so that could increase the that means that people will not be able to pay rent. That's two situations, right? Because the economy is so low, people will not be able to pay rent. And on the other situation is that they can buy a house, so they just go buy a house. And therefore, you're gonna more likely to have a higher vacancy as an investor. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if rates stay the same, right? So then there's nothing changed. The demand remain the same, the supply remain the same, and therefore affordability remain the same. Last but not least, when the rate actually increased in 2024, we actually has the affordability is actually lower, right? Affordability is actually goes lower. So therefore, they're not going to be able to go buy the house. Consumer will not be able to go buy a house anymore. So they're going to look at the situation to rent. So therefore, it's going to less likely you're going to have a stronger rental market, and therefore it's good for the investor, right? Because when the rental market is strong, that means people there's demand in the rental right there. Okay, so therefore, as an investor, you should watch for the market that follow. Make sure whenever you invest in any market, you have to make sure you understand the affordability in that market, of both for purchase and rental. Okay, we have to compare the rent to income ratio to see whether it makes sense to invest in that market. If you're interested in knowing which market is best to invest in 2024, contact me and I will send you the list of affordability for the entire US as well. Okay, last but not least, I want to bring up a very important message from Bigger Pocket is that what should the investor do in 2024? And it's actually have 10 things that the investor should consider to do in 2024 to make it a good investing tactic. Because right now it's very, like we already said, a lot of things could change the real estate markets. So to be successful in 2024, you have to, number one, underwriting it very carefully, all right, and conservative, right? Use extra conservative as possible. You have to have a local market expert, okay? What we just talked today is the entire country level, okay? Depend on the market, it's gonna change as well. So before you even look into one market, you have to find out the affordability, you have to understand the market to be able to know whether it is a good market or not. And even if you identify, let's say Arizona is a state for you to invest, it's also different in each local area. Maricopa County is going to be different. Piedmont County is going to be different. Tucson is going to be different. So you have to make sure you understand, have an idea about the local market over here. Number three, like I said earlier, affordable market. You have to find out which market is more affordable than which, okay? Whether it's impact to the rental market or not. That is important as well. Cash flow. The more cash flow you have, the better, of course, right? It's going to buy you more time to think of another exit strategy. New construction, some area that allow investor to buy a new construction home. And therefore, it could be a good option because builders providing a lot of great incentive today, okay? A lot of great incentive today, and that means you don't have to pay a lot of upfront cost. Number six, buy deep. That means try to negotiate a lower price as much as possible to give you more time, especially if you're doing a fix and flip. that could be something you have to be careful to evaluate and give the best number, because the mortgage rate can change anytime, affordability can change anytime. So to be more conservative, you have to get a good discount price. Number 7, consider house hacking, right? House hacking could be a way to go because it gives you less capital and also gives you the income as you stay in the house and cover a portion of your mortgage. Okay, if you're interested in talking more detail whether house hacking is a good idea for you, also contact me. Be careful with flips and burr. I like similar to number 6, right? Those number 8 is critical because it's probably take you time to fix up the properties and a lot of capital upfront as well. And by the time that you finish with the project, you may already move to a different market. So be extra careful, perhaps offer a lower price to get it at a good idea, at a very good deal. Okay, number 9, consider some alternative financing options. This is very fascinating me nowadays. A lot of people thinking about doing seller finance, those terms like seller financing, assumable mortgage, sub-2. Those are the terms that are become more and more popular in today's market, because you know why? Because with the conventional traditional mortgage, it's very difficult to get a loan, and even if you get, you have to buy at a very high price, so high rental interest rate. So it's going to be another topic for today. For another time, I'm going to talk about seller financing options for both buyers and the seller in the next 2 weeks. So if you're interested in learning more about that options, just hop on to one of my videos. It benefit both seller and buyers. And in those webinars, I'm going to explain more detail on that, on those two, okay? That is it for today. Thank you so much, everyone. I know it's a longer video than what I hope, but I hope that I provide enough information to explain, summarize a high-level idea of what the Bigger Pockets prediction for 2024. And if you need a full report, go to the website or let me know. I will guide you to the right resource. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.